journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, folks, I'm going to go through some of these stock indices to show you how accurate these were. You can see here on this ABCD, and it measured to 46,800 in the Dow Jones. We got to 45,300, I think, something like that. But the difference is the biggest stock in the Dow up and during this early time was United Healthcare, and it's gone from 620 down to 320. Well, if it were trading back at 620, it would have already exceeded that. That's why that one was off. You're only dealing with 20 triple-digit stocks, but the others, look at the accuracy on some of these things, folks. This is the Nasdaq. Okay, this is going back since middle of May. Look at the ABCD, measured at 23,050. The high was 23,112, 60 points off. It's now trading down into the 22,800 level. Now take a look at the next one here, which is the Russell. Look at the Russell. The ABCD on this measured at 2291. It got to 2279. It's now trading, quite a bit lower, as you can see, and that's another several ABCDs to the upside. If we look at the E-mini S&P, it measured to 6306. The high was 6332. It's now trading at 6262. So this tells you that there's something is happening here today, and that's why it's so very important. This is the one that should scare you. This is a big move here in the weekly. You can see here another top right here, but look what happens when you move this out and look at it a little bit bigger. Well, there it is. That's the one we were looking at before. I'm trying to find the one that shows the 3 drive on the monthly chart, but by golly, I don't think. Oh, you know what? I have that. I'll bring it up in just a second here. Well, since we're looking at that right now, I'll do gold here in just a minute, but it's important to see what we're doing here with this with the S&P, because on the long-term picture in the S&P, please get it. There it is right here. Okay, what I'm going to do now is do this on the long-term weekly, and you're going to see the fact that it's made a 3 drive to a top pattern here, folks. And now we've already taken out Friday's low. The next one to look at is 614. That would be the weekly low. I don't think we're going to do that today, but if we do, that would be a weekly reversal. Now, I went through all of the things on the newsletter that I thought were very, very important, and a couple of them just skip up here. I wanted to show you to them because these are the stocks that are in the news quite a bit. This happens to be NVIDIA. Okay, now you can see NVIDIA made a 3 drive to a top pattern here on just the other day, Thursday. Okay, I don't know what it's doing today. It could have gone a little bit higher, but I don't think it went much higher. We'll see that. Also, the other one that's been leading the whole thing in the Dow Jones, the biggest one of them all, the $700 monster. There's 1, 2, 3 drive to a top here, 726. Look at this measured to, folks, 725. Boy, you have to think about ABCD a little bit when you see something like that going around. That's why this looks like it could be a pretty big substantial move. Now, here's the one I wanted to see. This is the weekly. There it is right there, that weekly in that. We've already completed that here, 23,000 and change. Okay, now let's get back up here and cover some other things. The gold market, we had a little bit of a problem with the technical part, being my fault. I sent it out for July the 7th, 2024, and I just sent the updated on. I was up quite a bit of the night, as you can imagine, and that's what measured it. We were trying to buy it down here at 33.01. That was a 61% retracement. The low was 33.04, so I missed that buy. We're now quite a bit higher. But if you're watching it from the standpoint of when you're watching these things. See, there's your low right here, and you miss it. Okay, here's your first significant retracement. There's your ABCD move right there, exactly at your 382 retracement. Just really spot on. There it is right there. Now the market keeps going up, and all it does, if you want to follow it, you can see there's from your high to your low. The next one, 382 is right there. The next 382 is right there. Bada bing, bada boom. I mean, if you're going to trade a strong trending market, folks, learn to do these 382s, and it'll pay your tuition. I missed this one by a little bit, but there's nothing else I could do about that because I'm not that, can't be that better. Okay, and also we've been very bearish. The euro and the U.S. Bullish the U.S. dollar. You can see here the euro has been falling rapidly like we expected. However, we are in the British pound, and the British pound also has been dropping quite a bit. Now, it broke quite a bit last night from between the 4th, and it had a little bit of a rally back, but you can see the rally back was very little, and now it's, coming down pretty hard. It's got over two-handle profit in at $1,200, so that's good. The other one that we've been really bearish on, I'm going to get to the bad news in just a minute, folks. That'll be the grain markets. I'm going to cover that at the first break. We've been very bearish bonds, and you can see here the bond market just keeps dropping and dropping. On the daily chart, we hit that beautiful Gartley up there at 116. It's now three handles in the move. It's now broken below the valid trend line. There's the valid trend line broke here at 114.02. See, it was the important support just failed, and now it's heading down. So what we should do now, because of this sharp move down, we got to see what the retracement levels are going to be. We're probably setting not quite at the 50% level, but this wide range today, 1.5, you've got to say it's probably going to go a little bit lower, but that's what it looks like. There was the big ABCD right there at their 78% level. I didn't even check this from the high right back here. Let's just do that. That was right at, look at that. You got a 786 and a 50% right there, folks. I didn't even look at that. All I did was look at this one, and then I had a possibility of picking that up right here. Okay, now let's move this out of the way here. We carried that. We carried the Treasury bonds. Okay, now one of the ones that we've been watching for quite a while has been the, by the way, I'm gonna do the grain markets when we come back, because that's going to take a little bit of time to do it. Here is a potential trade coming up here today, folks. I don't know if it's going to happen today or not, but I like this trade right here. This is the live cattle. You can see we've been having a move here now. We've had a nice move here, but you see how the ABCD measures right to here? Well, you have to make this adjustment because of this gap right here. You've got to make this 1.27. So the sell is at 216.85. Okay, that's 80 points, so 60 points from where it is right now. Your stop's got to be above here. That's all you got to do. Remember, for over the past 5 or 6 trading sessions in here, we've been talking about the hog market, and the hog market has had some. Let's get the August hogs up here. You'll be able to see we've had a pretty big move to the downside here recently. This is just a 5 minutes. You can see here it's had a pretty big move off the highest level. We've been shorting it on these 382s all the way down, folks, and we probably got another one right in here this morning, but we're going to check it here just a second. 877-927-6648.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN. educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Okay, folks, this is the soybeans. We bought these down here. If you remember, at 29, coming into Friday, we had a little over $1,200 profit. The market gapped down quite a bit. Now, the problem was, I told the folks in the video that I sent out, is to put your stop at break even, which would have been stopped out here. It's going to go lower. We're going to make an ABCD. It's still bullish, but just as weather related, so there's nothing you can do about it. The problem was old age set in, folks. And when I picked up the video, I picked it up for 7/7/24, and I missed that. So that's not normally what someone do when you got that much of a profit. You got to protect someone in here, but I hit the wrong button, and that was my fault. So I sent the new one out to, make it a little better. You could understand what we were seeing here. Now, on the wheat market, that's still down. It's still in a profitable position, but it's holding its own right up in here. We bought that right here, so that gone up to here, still a little ahead. We'll put our stop right below here. So I still think they're okay. It's all weather related, and it's emotional. Happens all the time. Now, if we take a look at the corn. What I told the folks do, the corn, this is a big move, folks, in corn. You can see here we're down 13 cents, which is a huge move in corn. Now, we bought this at 20, and we had to stop at 16. Okay, now I am leaving that stop in at 16. There it is right there. I'm going to give up that $750 plus another $200 to still stay long the corn. And nothing else I can do about that. Same thing in the soybean meal. If we take a look at soybean meal, and see, whether markets work both ways, folks. They're really good when they work, and when they don't work, that's what you don't want to have happen. So here's the one here on the December soybean meal. We bought that down there at 265 on that last move right here. Now we're below that level right now. Today it rallied, actually. Oh, it looks like it rallied to a 382. Sure did. Son of a gun. Missed that. Anyway, we're gonna lose that one. We have a stop at 278 on this one. But the one that's really important, and that's that November soybean contract, because this is a 4-hour chart. this is what you want to be watching, because we're going to get there just a little bit. We're going to make this last little hurrah to the downside. Folks, this thing has just been planted and it's just growing. It's got a lot of stuff going on. So we get these down here at about $9.97, down about another 35 cents. That's going to be Christmas Day, because look at that. Put that in there on a long-term basis. You're going to be setting right below the 618, and it's still bullish, and I think we'll be able to have a pretty good move on that. There's nothing you can do about the weather thing, folks. If the weather would have changed, this thing would be trading up here, but it didn't. And so you take a loss, and then you move on to the next one. That's the next one we want to be watching to see what's going on. Okay? So that's the two that we made. Didn't work too well, but by golly, the others have done well. The bonds and all the other stuff seems to be working pretty well in here right now. Now let's take a look at the Dow Jones here. We're having a nice little bounce here off this 1.618 ABCD here, and you can see there it is right there. Oh, I wonder if that's a 382 off of that last low. Now that would really be interesting, wouldn't it? From this high to this low. No, the 382 comes in just a little bit lower down in here. There's the 1.618 expansion of that move. That's what held that right now. But the fact that S&P cash, SPY, has taken out the low of the last week in a matter of a few hours, where did that bearishness come from, folks? There wasn't any bearish news out there. So that's why we're watching it so very, very closely. Okay, now we're going to look here at the NASDAQ one more time. Now the NASDAQ is, you can see there's where we are. We just completed, and then ABCDs work up and down, folks. You can see here on the downside, there's your ABCD. I'm going to just draw it in. Oh, shut the front door. We'll do it here right now so we can see it together. There's your A leg right here. That was in the middle of the night, right there near the high of the contract. Move it up right here. Bada bing, bada boom. There's our low, 22,840. We've already rallied 50 handles. You can see how it's moving up and down. What we should do, just to be kicks and giggles, since we had a nice move here, and we'll go back to, let's go to the hourly so we can see the big high and see if we're going to get a little old 382 action here. Okay, there's the move to the downside that we have. Now, you can see there's the ABCD to the down. Now, let's just see what the 382 will be off of this last high. You put it in right there. And set it in right there, and there it is right there. So pay attention to that one, folks. That's 2936, another 50 handles up in here. Because if it doesn't get any higher than this, this is telling us that we're probably making some type of a high in here, folks. All I can tell you, folks, is if you wait your lifetime trading, the number of times you're going to see a pattern like this, it's like slim and none. We've already taken out this low, filled this first gap already. We got another gap way down here. We got another gap way down here. I will tell you this, we will take out this low right here from way back here, 57.90. That's 50 handles in the SP cash. That's what I'm predicting, that's what could be happening. And if you remember, well, it doesn't make any difference what I did years ago, because that's neither here nor there. By the way, Mr. Winsky will be our guest here at the break, but on Thursday, boys and girls, you're not going to believe we're going to have for a whole half hour, Cy Monley. Cy is in charge of more crops, hedging more crops than anybody on the planet. He runs Farm Bureau's hedging operation, and he understands that. His first job was with none other than our good friend Rich Anderson. Rich got him started in the business, and now he really is the big daddy rabbit in that part of the business. He's got one farmer that's got 250,000 acres, believe it or not. Okay, let's get this out of the way here and see any others that I really wanted to. Oh, I did mention this here for those of you that the trade of the week, if you wanted to trade the short side of the NASDAQ, is to be a buyer of this right here. It opened at 33.54. It's now trading at 33.69. Your stop would be 50 cents. But this is the long-term picture of this weekly pro shares. It's a super short triple Q is what that is. Okay, it's moving in a little bit the direction that we were thinking that it might be going to. Now our guest will be coming up here in just a little bit, but those are the main things that we're watching here this morning. One other thing I wanted to mention here was on automobile. Shucks, this might not come up. Yeah, there it is. There's auto loan delinquencies. They've made all new highs here, folks. So that means people are 60 days or more behind their payments. That's very, very rare. And so you can see something is amiss here. They're not able to make their payments, supposedly. In fact, supposedly is the key word. One other market that's giving a little bit of a bounce today here is the crude oil. Let's get this up here on the hourly, and you'll be able to see it making a nice little ABCD right about now. Let's just get her up here so everybody can get their orders in. There's your AB leg right here. This is over the last 10 days. There's your CD leg right here. And that number comes in. Are you ready, boys and girls? 68.34. I'd be a seller of that at 68.34. That's what I would do. Anyway, that's what we're paying attention to, so stay tuned for the wizard from Naples, Mr. Norm Winsky, and then Cy Monley on Thursday. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors. This portion of Trade What You See is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Hey, we're back, folks, and we have Mr. Norm Winsky on the line from Astro Trends, Naples, Florida. Norm, how are you doing today?
Great, Larry. Thanks for having me on. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Go ahead and start, my friend.
Okay, I was last due to be on your show on Friday, June 20th. TFN had some technical issues, so you let me do my Friday presentation on Monday the 23rd. Okay, so just to be totally honest and truthful about it. So over the 20th weekend, we had Jupiter lining up with the U.S. natal chart. For those who don't know, we take a natal chart is where we take a snapshot of where something was began or was born. If your natal chart would be when you were born, and Jupiter was lining up where Jupiter was when the country was founded on July the 4th, 1776. Anytime we have something lining up with the U.S. natal chart, we want to look at U.S. stocks, T-bonds, and the U.S. dollar. Then over that same weekend, we had the moon. By the way, if you want any help with any of these technical terms, once I explain them, you'll realize that nothing I'm doing is over 5th grade level. I'm a big believer in simple. So after I explain this stuff, everybody agrees it's pretty simple. You just got some terms here you may not be familiar with. So I'm not going to get into explaining the terms. You can give me a call. I'll give you a free class. So the moon's north node, 180 degrees to the U.S. chart and Neptune, and that would be stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar, and because Neptune is involved, that's oil. And then we have the new moon on the night of the 24th. AC is after the close. Most of these things occur overnight because the regular day session trading day is only about 1/4 of the day, and the planets don't clock out at 5. They're 24/7, you know. So we had a new moon the night of the 24th. The time we have a new moon or full moon, we want to look at financials, grains, precious metals, oil, and because it was a new moon in Cancer, and the moon is the ruling body, the silvery moon is the ruling body for silver, and the moon is the social associated with the sign Cancer. That's a big double whammy for silver, so we want to emphasize silver, okay? And then the night of the 26th, that's after the close, Jupiter was apogee, and again, because Jupiter is now in the sign of Cancer, that's also silver. So now we're going to look at what happened with the various markets. There's corn. We are a little early on the corn. So red arrow, that's a miss. And here's the soybeans. And again, early by, let's see, the low was over there on the 27th. So about a day early on that. And because we allow a day, if I'd been the next day, that would have been okay. Wheat, same deal there. So I have one signal for each of the grains and a day early on each of those. It's possible, and I'm not counting this on my record, you had that Jupiter apogee. That might be, I've never counted that as a factor in the grains, but I'm going to watch that over the next several years, and I may be adding that somewhere down the road, but I can't do that now. All right, here's the crude oil. Look at that. I've showed you, due to the U.S. chart, something with Neptune. It's the big liquid. Neptune in mythology, is the god of the sea, the ocean. And it's big liquids, and oil is Neptune. And look at that top there. This is probably the best trade I had for this whole period now. You topped out, you would have sold on the next day's opening, which is Monday the 23rd, and it dropped about 12 handles, or about $12,000. That's huge. And there we have silver. I had the 2 windows, 3 points for silver. You get the double points here for this point here with the new moon. If I can get my computer to cooperate, there's 2. And we had this point over here for Jupiter apogee in the sign again of Cancer. So we went 3 out of 3 for silver. Here's gold. We had a little short-term low there for gold. Again, the green arrows are good, that you had a chance to make some money. These red arrows are you did not have a chance to make money, so they're misses. I went 50-50 on the S&P there. We had 2 points. I had the 2 points there for the weekend of the 20th. That was very good. And then we had the points there for the 25th. the night opening the 25th over the night of the 24th. That was the moon didn't not that was very unusual. The moon S&P didn't react very much to the moon, and then we had the Jupiter apogee didn't react very well to that either. So we went 50-50 on the S&P. Usually I do a lot better than that. And here's T-bonds. Now here's something we haven't talked about before. Here's the market's just kind of going sideways here, and I don't do sideways. It's Newton's law for every action that opposite equal reaction, and the opposite of sideways is just more sideways. So that's a pass, a yellow box of the pass. And here you had a little short-term top there. I think it was good for about 3/4 of a point there, or $750 if you sold the bonds there, and then they dropped a little bit there, and you had a short-term high. The dollar was really good. Look at that. You're right on that high there. It was the highest high since about a week or two, and then it had a nice big drop, and then there was a little short-term low there for the dollar. Larry mentioned about some of the currencies were coming down here, like the British pound. They often turn on new moons and full moons, and as we'll be talking about here in a minute or two, there's a full moon coming up here in a few days. So that could be, I think Larry was projecting a lower level there for the currencies, and that might be the time for that turn. Now, I'm going to show you some things that are off the record. I did not forecast these. I did not share these with you in advance. We're doing this sort of a little bit after the fact. Over this past weekend, we had, and I'm not counting this on my record, but we did have a huge 5-point cluster over the weekend here. 2 Mercury cycles that were culminating. That's very rare. And that's Larry was just talking about the grains, and so I think they gapped down, didn't they, Larry? Today?
30 cents in beans. Yeah,
so there you go. We were looking for a big turn here in the grains, a big 2 major Mercury cycles, and that's corn, soybeans, wheat. And then over the weekend also, I mentioned Neptune was the big liquids, I think. And we had, not only did we, I don't know about oil yet, I think he showed oil was still kind of moving up a little bit, looking for a turn in the oil here, maybe today. But over the weekend, again, used Neptune, by the way, to predict floods. And guess what? Neptune turned retrograde over the weekend, and you might have heard there was a big flood in Texas, terrible flood in Texas. So, and here's another thing we had over the weekend. Jupiter lining up with the U.S. Jupiter, and Jupiter is said to be the most beneficial, luckiest, fortunate planet in the solar system. Oh, we're going
to take a break. Got to pay a few bills. We'll be back with Norm Winsky, folks. Stay with us.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Yeah, we're back, folks. Speaking with Norm Winsky, Astro Trends. Please continue, Norm.
Thank you, Larry. I missed something in the first segment there. I showed you all the charts, but I didn't give you the score. So how many winners, how many losers, all that sort of thing. There were 10 winners, 5 misses out of 15 for 66.67% winners. If you're not familiar with me, that's usually toward the low end of my results there. I usually do average in the 70s, you know. All right, so we were when we went to commercial land, I was about to tell you about Jupiter to the U.S. natal chart. U.S. was lining up with where Jupiter was on July the 4th, 1776, and that only occurs about every 11 and a half years, so that's kind of a big deal. And Jupiter is considered the most beneficial, fortunate planet of all the planets in astrological theory. And I think most people would agree that this build-up over a 1 to 2 week period, and I think over the previous week or two, there's been a phenomenal chain of events, mostly beneficial, I think, to the USA. And so that's sort of on the non-market level there. But anyway, kind of interesting. We had 2 things that really blatantly now come forth with actually 3, with the Mercury gap down, and then the flood in Texas, and then the events for the USA here in the last week or so. And anytime we have that, we want to look at stocks, C-bonds, U.S. dollar, and it looks like the stock market made a high here over the plus. By the way, all these events apply to the stock market. I forgot to mention that. Everything applies to the stock market. The commodities are narrower filters, but the stock market is the big basket of everything, so it can respond to all these events. And we got one more to review for the past weekend here. We had geocentric, that's from the point of view of the Earth. The planet Uranus changed signs. It entered Gemini. And that only occurs about every 7 years. It changes signs, and it hasn't been back to this spot for 84 years. Uranus is an 84-year cycle divided by 12. That's 7. So there we want to look at copper, oil. Copper is the main one, and then secondary oil, soybeans, sugar, and wheat. So now moving ahead here now, here's sort of my version of the Bradley model here, the blue line. I drew that in advance back in June, back actually in the end of May. And then as we went on, as we got to the end of the month and so forth, I overlay the S&P 10-minute bars there. And so you can see the results. And it's pretty good there. You can see this cursor doesn't like hard to see. Sorry about that. There's the full moon there. You made a top there, and so forth. And there's a whole class here just looking at studying that chart if you would like to do that. All right, let's look ahead. Look at all, boy, July is one heck of a month. We got lots of stuff going on here, and that's why I couldn't bring the past weekend in, because it would have been just too much stuff. We got just coming up here in the next week or so. We got like 8 things happening. You might want to take a screenshot. You should have taken a screenshot of the previous group there that we had over the past weekend. You can study that. And then coming up here, you probably want to take a screenshot of all these events. We have the full moon coming up the night of the 10th in the sign of Capricorn, and that's financials, grains, precious metals. Let me reiterate, stocks just respond to all events. So back your precious metals, oil, and because in the sign of Capricorn, that's also coffee. And coffee's been coming down quite a bit here the last few days, by the way. And might be making a low there on the full moon. Then we have geocentric. That's from the point of view of the Earth. Jupiter's going to line up with Pluto. Cocoa. We're going to look at cocoa, copper, hog, silver, T-bonds. And then the night of the 11th, Pluto's going to line up with the U.S. chart for stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then we have another retrograde coming. You know, that's one of my top things. When the planets turn retrograde, the opposite is direct. And I'll explain, give me a call. I'll explain how that works, what that's all about. Anyway, Saturn's going to turn retrograde, and that's coffee. And then we have the night of the 11th again, Mercury aphelion. That's when Mercury is at its farthest point from the sun. Helios is Greek for the sun. And if you have an A in the front there like that, that's when it's at its farthest point. Mercury is the grains, corn, and then because it has to do with the sun, it's also gold, with emphasis on corn, soybeans, and wheat. Then we have the moon's north node lining up with Saturn, U.S. Saturn, that's U.S. chart, for stocks, T-bonds, U.S. dollar. And then we have one of your favorites, I think, Larry. Mercury's in the sign of Leo, that's your sign, Larry, going to turn retrograde again for a repeat of this theme back here of Mercury aphelion, where we have corn, gold, soybeans, and wheat coming up the night of the 17th.
17th, Mercury goes retrograde, 17th.
The night of the 17th, that's what day of the week? That's a Thursday night.
Thursday, yeah. Okay, thank you, Norma. I've got to write that one down, yeah.
Okay, and then the weekend of the 18th, we have the moon's north node lining up with the U.S. chart for stocks, T-bonds, and the U.S. dollar. If you're not familiar with me, I've been coming on Larry's show about 10 years now, every few weeks, and I've been doing this a long time. I started studying this stuff in college back in the early 70s at one of Larry's alma maters there, a good old Indiana State there in Terre Haute, Indiana, and I made enough money to end up buying a membership right out of college on the Chicago Board Options Exchange in 1975. I started out trading stocks and stock options, and I was in the Board of Trade building and ended up meeting some of the greatest commodity traders in the world. And then it led me to looking more at commodities. Okay, we got some free stuff now. I'm going to offer some free stuff for the first 5 people who contact me by July 10th. That's the full moon. You can get a free consultation and class from a 50-year market veteran. That's me. And you can also get my report on my results for June. And it goes back to 2016. That's about 9 years. See how I've averaged more than 72% winning in signals. Can you imagine if you line up my timing with Larry's ABC? It'll be dynamite, I think. If email, please include your name, location, and where you found this offer. My contact information is on the next page, so we'll go there now. And there we go. Here, contact me here. I'm in beautiful Naples, Florida. You can call me at 239-594-3939. That's 239-594-3939. Please leave a message if you miss me. I'm usually by the phone 99% of the time. Or maybe the best thing is email me, and we'll set up a chat on the phone or on Teams. nwinski@yahoo.com. That's my email and my Teams address. That's nwinski@yahoo.com. Larry, anything from the Tiger's Den there?
No, sir, we're doing okay. You did a great job, Norm. So we'll have you on again soon. So we'll keep watching, especially that 17th is Mercury retrograde. That's one of the favorite things that I've looked at because that 88-day cycle. But thank you so much for joining us, my friend.
Thank you very much, Larry. Looking forward to helping some of the folks.
Okay, stay tuned here, folks. We're going to take a look at something that's in the news all the time, and that is Tesla. Hold on a second, and we'll get this up here. We'll be able to show it to you in just 1 second. Bear with me here.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, this is Tesla. You can see on Thursday, we were there at the 382, filled that little gap, and down to $25 right now. It looks like we're going to make a ABCD down here a little lower. Let's take a look here, what we were talking about before on the air. We're looking for this to make a 382. As you can see, it missed it by just a heartbeat. Missed it by oh, my goodness, only 10 points in the NASDAQ. That's where we are right now. Let's take a look at a trade for the future, folks. This is crude oil, okay? There was the war, all right? Boom, bang, bang. Now, if we get a 382 retracement here at this number right here, 69.50, you got to sell that. I don't care where, well, You probably could lose a lot of money, but there's where it is right now. I'm looking at this real closely. We're going to do that right now while we still have a few moments here. This is for in the future. It might be today. I'd like to see it best on Tuesday or Wednesday. Would be better to make it 3 days. That way, when you're watching this thing forming, it'll be making a nice little, you can see there's your A leg right there. Okay, there's your B leg, C leg, D leg. Taking us right up here, 69.36. 69.50 is the 382. Okay, so I'd say 69.36. You got to risk a stop above here. That would be 70.36. That's an ABCD in a 382 in a real strong trending market. That's what we like to see. But that's it right there. If you look at this on the hourly chart, you're going to be able to see it a little bit clearer. There it is right there. The ABCD on this one is 68.35, but we want to do it at 69.38. That means it should go a little bit higher to pull it up into that level. So that's what we want to be watching here in the crude oil. Remember, Thursday's show, try not to miss it because Cy hedges a lot of crops, folks. Anyway, he's going to be talking to, he's very bearish, and I think we have to get both sides instead of just mine. Anyway, we're going to take a break. We'll see you tomorrow. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.